Chödan soje sonam la janju bardo tani gyabson je dage jen son je be sonam je dola benje sanje do barajo sanje chödan soje sonam la janju bardo tani gyabson je dage jen so je be sonam je dola benje sanje do barajo sanje chödan soje sonam la janju bardo tani gyabson je dage jen so je be sonam je dola benje sanje do barajo. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Yeah, that because on the Garcia Dragana, the Vindashete. The Bam Faithamba, Zawai Kizin Karazu. Cheta Chisum Chimene, Jesum in Downward. So, Chumden the Rangin Dola, then the Tutama and the Deba. She and Nipe Tower to do, Rabba Fillet in it, Chidia, Peyton Bass, or the Deba Peyton Bass.
Sort of review what we covered last Sunday. It's on page 223. Etymology, they are reasons for their being called proponents of sutra and exemplifiers. They are called proponents of sutra because they propound chiefly in reliance on the supramontane victors sutras without following the great detailed exposition. They are called exemplifiers because they teach all doctrines by the way of examples.
Jin to Lamjin to Divinity Sumyavanane, Tambo, any Jin to Silla, you do Jingi in the Sinichi. That you'll see in the Kadajal, Anipe, Lue Ripa, Loy in a Shepa, any Ripa Chavajula, any you'll see your ace, Tati, Chitigala, you'll Yopa, Shecha, Jitu Sindi, Lue to Charua, Lue to Empe, Totunenji, Ratanjila. You'll see your other Tidigala you'll data Yuzeki Tamje that you'll chat your other teaching Anita Hagi Chiran Louis Lucharon was singing Lare, Louis Riparchava, you'll get singing Rile. But that is all Quran singing to go and semi me by your betting it. Sema singita un nape sheben and sema singita pe milua any sartojicula sema sigore you the me siade semi mina yoada jidi chudi semi mamina mea touch it to latuguares.
We also went through the assertions of the tenets. This section has three parts: that assertions on the basis, path, and fruits, and assertions on the basis. This section has two parts: assertions regarding objects and assertions regarding object possessors. And we also talked about the meaning or definition of an object. And in the text it says that which is suitable to be known by an awareness, or that which is suitable to be comprehended by mind, or able to reflect in mind, or able to have a kind of images in your mind. The definition of an object of knowledge is that which is suitable to be an object of an awareness, object existent, object of knowledge, and established base are mutually inclusive. So another way of saying is that these all terms are interchangeable. So when we talk about the object, object of knowledge, we can basically say that whatever thing exists, they are object of knowledge, something that can be, suitable to be known by an awareness or consciousness. And along with that, also in Buddhism, there is a meaning and definition for the valid cognitive mind, and that refers to the newly perceived or conceived knowledge, and also there is a definition or meaning of the existence or existence or something that exists, and something that exists refers to whatever object or thing that can be proven by the a valid cognitive mind.
어떤 하기 유해 때문에 세대 하기 타제하기 시바 하기 체마 밀어가시기 율제대 또 두고였나 고요와 타제기래 다들 체마 시바세대 시바나네 율살도 또 비추 그지 ngati 차체니 그지 땅보다라 체마야 거래 그지 니바 면제니 아니 체마스기 말이야 안텔레 지셰라 그래 랑기 세망함에 떠진 비추디 라량 양양도 또 내긴지라 니제 셰스가 다 그지 니바니 숨바지바 나다 도스체니 아니 셰발라 파이 그지 니 지체니 아니 도스체니 제 셰스가 와래 지에니 베 하기 율고네 하기 출리야난다 율쟁고네 출리야나 때리 출리 지나 데라 율쟁데 닝라 가르라 록셰라 그래 또 도스체니 시바코란라베 제시 로시 대송 이제 나라 망해 봤어요. 어떻게 배 개발 먹고 쳐야 돼. 시바 도지 일전들라. 이용해야 돼. 가서 제바지디가 나온로 조르네 바고네. 아니 유전 제제네 제바제거로 말어. 로 타지도 초지를 룽지. 아니 제바제바이나 제바도 양다통 자그 말해. 인디바 사이언스 파트 쪽에 늘전 바기 제바체 인디가 니치기 제바 사이언스 파트 해바치기 제바체도 지다가 직바치 지지라 야 잠바치 예 제바체네 아니 니가 퉁기야나 아니 때레스 타체고가 어때 때나진지네 나페티 오니 유진양다 세제당 유진코니 규진디 이양다던 저제 니 빼때 토네 네바녀바 조이나 다 저다데 에네베 유전 때문에 또 돈되는데 에네 지와체미 유지 아니 해가 컵도 라이네베 문지 미시다 에 뭔보 채바나 진지지 두스토이나 텔 원숨 체마스 어떻게 고 유컵도들라 유대유진 컵도들라 도스지네 다데 규전 뜬치 때문에 마기와이나 컵도들라 정말 원숨 체마스도 그때는 다른 나저런 원숨 생기데 가나도 타말 로데 에네페 사망 지징 지데다나 가지 에네페 나저런 원숨기 에 율라 출세다 로시 균이요 말에 가난 당전에 비자베 나라망에 균이요 말에 그들이가 즉 나도 센디 장기나 로 통보차야지 라와자야 봐 그래도 즉 하고가 빼빼 쳐버려
So, when we talk about something or object or phenomena, or whether it exists or not, it depends on the what kind of consciousness or awareness that you are using, when you make that decision. So that consciousness should be a valid cognitive mind, so when we look at the consciousness perceiving at the object of knowledge or the target, whatever phenomena is we can kind of break down that consciousness into different levels. The first moment is considered as a very cognitive mind, and the second moment of the consciousness is considered as a subsequent mind. So there is the levels that we can break down the consciousness depending on the moment it perceives or conceives object of observation. Based on the subject that is the consciousness, we can also classify different kinds of consciousness, especially when it is aiming at the object of knowledge or the target object, like suspicion, doubt, misconception, and so here this is sort of when you do analysis, or trying to find or examine or learn something, your mind should be unbiased mentality, unbiased mind. Because biased mind itself, to begin with, is kind of serves as a foundation for the misconception or wrong ways of perceiving if you have a biased mind. So unbiased mind, and here kind of when modern science do the analysis, it is not enough that one scientist can come to the conclusion and prove that this is the reality. It should be supported or backed up by another scientist who can go through the same process, or go through the the process of investigation or examination based on kind of evidence and logic, and then come to the conclusion. And so when we use a logical process in understanding the object of observation, we talk about two ways of ways of understanding knowledge. The first one is direct perceiving knowledge, and second is inferential. So the direct perceiving knowledge is your eye consciousness sees that object right in front of you. There's nothing in between. Like we can smell through our nose, whatever object is, we can see, we can hear. There's nothing in between. But for the inferential, as the word itself says, inference, we use in between. There is a sort of bridge or the logic that we try to understand that to understand that thing. We use kind of logical reason. So it's kind of indirect channel to understand the object of knowledge or the target object. So then again, there is a kind of a third level, and that is the yogic direct kind of knowledge. This refers to the higher levels of consciousness or understanding. When you achieve this yogic direct perception, you have no misconception, wrong conception. There is no kind of it's called there's although it appears to be something, but it's not definite. That kind of to ordinary consciousness that happens. You have something kind of something in your mind, but it is not kind of it is not sure or it's not definite. So you have like, it is like that, but whether it is sure or not, a semantic noise. I don't know what's the translation for the in Tibetan. If I want to say this to in case nala manya wa koran tigjilas. Nala manya pero shana sewu chamero.
Nala manya zede pejo perna. Thagi peja khara nara nawe mi zu itu thongajil thoe negam nala nan nawen rachen butebin ranjin ngishete nala manya bachadi yare. Mi zu itu wal thong ngala thagi zu dala sheba thamche zu dala chadi yare. 차도 나데 짜찬 안한지 마도 다윗 다까지 치중 그베 자기 네 돈다데 네 두고 말이지. 이때래.
So, another way of saying is that it's inattentive perception. When you are listening to a very kind of, melodious or nice song, your concentration is totally on that. And at the same time, there's something, if your eyes are open and you're seeing something in front of you happening, but whatever, your eyes is seeing, it becomes sort of inattentive. It doesn't stay in your mind as compared to what you are really focused into listening. And same thing with when you are looking at something really beautiful, totally kind of focused, concentrated. If there are noises around you, you are hearing those noises, but those noises won't be kind of so kind of stable or kind of strong in your mind.
그것도 냠용의 용어도 나랑 정문에 즉 거기 자와신다지 제 급도들라 쉐바 탐진 딤지 자와의 지리 미지지 라비나 람겨 돈다데 개발아 하고 옵니다. 주고 까지 되고 보다. 되고들었다. 나는 망을로 차서 올로데.
And in inattentive perception, this is something that we also experience in our day-to-day life. When we are doing something which takes really kind of serious concentration or focus, and while you are doing that kind of thing, if somebody is around you talking or trying to later you need to kind of bring that thing again. What did you say? Ask. Did you say something to me? So at that kind of experiences, it's kind of inattentive perception.
일단 낭비 시베 개발돼 원에 잡진 타봤다나 즉 누루레나 섬중업 증거지다 때도 할레비 야보래 인디갈라 인디기 눕초베 바기 섬감레 발레 또서 잡지 이렇게 한번 차리요.
So, he said that when we look at the different levels of perception, that exist, it kind of tells that, we can, reach at the level where we can, make our consciousness very clear, able to, understand the object of target kind of clearly without any, we can, have a consciousness without, misconception, without wrong conception, without, inattentive, perception. So here, when you look at the Buddhist scriptures, like Sutra school, the day school tells really kind of detail about mind and mental factors, major and 51 mental factors, and comparatively, when you compare with the modern kind of psychology in Buddhism, it is much more kind of detailed and more well explained.
이게 semgin 남이 차라기 개발 체험도 갈라. 아니 남배 nga 사운드 비중. 아니 nga 텐데 당연히 다 하고는 되냐도 지리 갈라다. 딜레 캠페 잡고 돼래. 딘디 갈라. 딘디기다 가기 sem감을 봐 망보지게 아니 나 아니 맹기 메주리 파테네 망보지 साइंस बातें भी थी गौरव से कम नहीं लगा था कि नांदू वाला गौरव से के था जैसे गया थी राग भी सुनता ये उन्हें using your रहता हाकुंग जी ना उन्हें मज़ो जिसा तो दी गानी पे जिसा तो रहता ना दीदी चांग चेने पे नमी खेपर तो या हो हाकुआ ना दिनी सब डोरे जिसा कोना महंगे ना 강파 찌르면 강파겠나? 왜 템부기니 저기야 거랑 요마라. 그래서 차거든. 이거 빼. 야부치 장고도 빼게 좀 보이지. 오늘 거기 즉 센터라게 남의 야부치 우에나.
And in Buddhism, especially when we talk about the mind and mental factors, from the perspective of tantric practices, it then becomes really subtle, different levels of consciousness. And therefore, the modern science and psychology and medical science, they do the discussion with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and His Holiness always says that because of his learning of Buddhist philosophy and all this mind and mental factors, for him there's always kind of answer for the questions that raises by science scholars or scientists. So what we are learning here is the sort of very basic sort of foundation of different kind of types or mind and mental factors, and these serve as a kind of basis or foundation. And without foundation, of course, you can't go up higher. It's like trying to build a house without foundation. So these are the foundations. So it is important kind of to understand these basic concepts.
Nampe hagi karsorta nangdor ripade tachik tina semgam ripa yongguare eni ngogam ripa yongguare ina mangko ste phungbu tarung phungbe ge chagin rothan to pe misbe yabo yongguwa so mendan dewa chari yore 근데 이들라 즉 거기 사회에서는 자체 망보지다 저와의 내린 차리 yore 여름지 뒤산 딜라 여름 저게 남배 사이즈 수도 뭐라고 뭐는 차리 yore 그리고 술 내배고는 제바제거든 낭빠인데 낭빠는 개체개 탐바지 정거지니 장야게 말해 뭐니 소소 마시던 거 미인 남제 됐대 미인 레바데키 미랑 강갈에 미인 두시지니 얘는 취루기 개발 맞지 미래기 개발 맞지 뭐니 로술 내배고는 제바제거 빼미주게 좀
And within the Buddhism, we can find a different kind of subject of studies, like psychology, physics, and about the body and the nervous system, which are related to medical science, and then. His Holiness actually used the term Buddhist science, part section where Buddhist content can discuss and learn with the modern science. And so what is important for us is, as a human being, with this human brain and intelligence, with having human definition. We should be, using kind of evidence, logic, analysis when we, try to learn, do the comparative studies, not kind of bringing, one's own, not bringing kind of biased mentality of faith or religion or all different kinds of bias. So unbiased mentality based on logical understanding should be the ways or methods to learn and understand the reality.
What 두스제데 다더니 하기 이와 이들마다 주나နေတာ담보데 담바니 시야와데 Kota dembanyi siyawa sidugala, ta dembanyi sidugala, jara mao ke dembanyi kande jasu, dodi bi dembanyi kare jasu, ti kebar kare do, jara mao samna tangtang kare do, keso ji pagi jisa samna tangtang te do, haku aji. Ini dodi bi ta, tobe tabala ma deba, rang dulu yune, ribi chezu tu tuba sigwa, ribi cheba chena, ko de fangu, nigi. 돈다기 니기요 가지고 거. 그 라야요 가지. 제바진. 리비치스도 두고. 너도 빌로. 코 렘버 마두나 민도 빌루 차대 인디가라 다 똑비 딱바시도 똑바시도 가라서 자지다 던지 강릉주 윤이 떠고 보인지나 기 로똑바들라 간지 유젤한테네 아니 배 던지 주바지 뭐다 덴데지 야미 파기 로타샤고 파기 고 ngwe ni memberjila rotani yani yikhoram meayina ani pe pena namkha sidugala ko tongja jila yi tongja jila pe thoba da reya me indigen tongja jila namkha de toba ke pha ja cha ka tinde ji ko wa oda ti lo tobe ja than ja lu toba sing ni kan ji ngun jin ji ge du ta ti so sam tang wa de ke chim do ase
And then, we talked about the 6 different categories or divisions of the object, beginning with the true truth, specifically characterized and generally characterized phenomena, negative phenomena and positive phenomena, manifest phenomena and hidden phenomena. It's on page 223. So, as said before, we begin with the true truth. So, when you look at the true truth, here, you can think about the true truth and its definition by the lower school, how they define true truth, and what are the differences between true truth of these two schools of thoughts, and what are the bases that they use, to have their own, different interpretation of the true truth. And so the ultimate truth, it's on page 224. The definition of an ultimate truth is a phenomenon that is able to be a reasoned analysis from the point of view of whether it has its own mode of subsistence without depending on imputation by terms or conceptual consciousnesses. So, when you look at this definition, you can see it's, the Sutra school's own way of interpretation of what ultimate truth is. So according to this school, the ultimate truth is as said here, it should be kind of findable under the subject of analysis, and it's not it's not depend on the simply imputation by terms or ultimate, and so the conventional truth, they consider the conventional truth kind of as a misconception, and when they said misconception,
jiginde yani toplo topija namka tongja thoya da raya men de jila jijila enipe tela namkha se ta min lo topa ke pha sha sha ke ma da tobe ta sha ke to ta sha ke ma da khu khorang woni chik namkha dire se jaya ke yo marwa thoya da raya men de ke jisa jila ta namkha se ja bare
on the rest
lo tobe ja ke ore kunso de bare lo tobe jane yo gu data tong data pe tong ate so yo mare or limoranjin to bate so yo mare to be ja kore.
The conceptual, the conventional truth, according to the Sutra school, it will come, although it is defined here, but the conventional truth, according to this school, is based upon the conceptual mind. So the conceptual mind, for example, the conceptual mind could be, generated or used through, these two words we mentioned before, sound generic or meaning generic. So, conceptual mind, and it is also kind of exaggerated mind without any actual kind of basis. So, or simply imputed. So, for example, when we look at the thing or phenomena sky or space, when you go into what space or sky is, it is just empty, right? There's nothing there. But for that very kind of nature, the name sky or the name space, it's simply designated. It is just labeled, given to without kind of nothing, lack of object, or just for the space. So this is a designation by a conceptual mind, and therefore this is according to this school is the conventional truth.
Korangoni Java Carnagina, the Randi Chimaki, Nibaji Yoina, de la Ransensi. Tunda Korangoni, the Nibaji give, then Zawan in the Mendegina, the Lechisense, Dape Pagi, Tundam Dembi Tape, Lugunia, Dembi, Tuchima Genial, some Tangu Resti.
Page 224, etymologies for the true truth. This is not so difficult to understand, so you can just, wait this section. And the next is the specifically and generally characterized phenomena. The second, way of characterizing or categorizing or classification of thing. Specifically and generally characterized phenomena. The definition of a specifically characterized phenomenon is a phenomenon that is ultimately able to perform a function. A pot is an illustration of a specifically characterized phenomenon. The definition of a generally characterized phenomenon is a phenomenon that is ultimately unable to perform a function. This is on page 229. So, the differences, as you can see here, is based on capability of performing a function and generating a result.
That Sinji Sidigala Kartanam should Sinji Pumbata Lagda, Ranzang Sinjila Pumba Jagdo, Pumba Ranzan Sinji Jaguarza, Pumbatone, Pumba Ranzang Imila Tasum Sang Yongurua, should Tony, should Imbatone, Ranzan. 이민라 대som상의 용어라. 인디가 분바데 랑생이 천시자 초고아레스. 천시레스. 돈다 버터니 미니 비치디 지생기 천시니 디마지기 남가다고. 다데로 디마지기 남가데 하게 가서래. 지생인다 임바 하고네. 디마지기 남가 또네. 디마지기 남가 지진 이민을 대som상에 영시 들어와. 근데 대인들가라 그 천시래. 천시 어다 천시세. 뉴마지는 거지. 그 지진 다디 인디가라 다 계산되는데. 뉴마지는 거지. 남가다고. 지다타된 가와던 라왈라서 또다면 지진 이미장. 대다 이내 지진 이미 개발적으로서 어서가. 다 지스디가라 뭐보디 지래. Pumbada Kawatazu, Jetare. Chidi Jetasity. Tako Tiji. G Koran G Jetasing Tangi Digidi, Chizen Rela. G na Chizin Mare. Any Jetaina Chizin Marela. That's what you get. G Sinner, Maranzo Tanka G Lagroa. G Koran. 지천이 아니
지치라고 찍치라고
네 지드치라
네
다다니 이거를 찍다 다다 있기도 와.
알레.
찍 쓰디가라 소소 마인 비추에 찍 쓰기도 와. 소소 말에 쓰디가라 가르 고고도 찍 고고도 와. 소소 이치에서 카가르 소소 카가. 엔텔라 타델라고. 이 증이돼서 고유도도 와세. 이나 찍 딱바리. 찍이나 따바 이 먹어서 그냥 개발은 제고 그래. 다들 따바리. 다들 이나 따바 이 먹어서 라고 그래. 진짜 이 먹어서 라고 그래. 어디 있어가?
As read before, the illustration for these two characterized phenomena, specifically characterized phenomena, the illustration is a pot is an illustration of specifically characterized phenomena, and also uncompounded space is the illustration of generally characterized phenomena. Because Pumba
지생기 진실이
진실.
Pumba 지생이 Pumba 지생 맞다 란생. Pumba 란생이 란생이 진실이 규지 최대 많이 말해줘도 겨돌아 최대 맞아가지고 가라. Pumba 또니 Pumba 란생 맞아가지고 가라. 이데가라 이용 연식으로 와서 근데 태som상에 Pumba 또니 Pumba 란생이 밀라 태som상 내긴지 연구하래. 용디가라 Pumbade 고 캡충하래. 란생 캡체래. 그 인디가라 이 진시 자초고래.
So a pot is used as an illustration for the specifically characterized phenomena because there are circumstances or case where somebody can perceive or understand the pot itself, but still have a doubt whether pot is a specifically characterized phenomena or not. So these are the circumstances that can happen. So therefore, pot is used in the illustration here. Sort of same with the uncompounded, space. Uncompounded space. The practitioner or somebody can understood that what uncompounded space is, but the same person might not be able to understood the generally characterized phenomena. So to continue with the reading, imputed phenomena such as generalized phenomena, one and different, mutually exclusive and related, and so forth, are generally characterized phenomena. However, something that is any of these is not necessarily a generally characterized phenomenon. So last time we were discussing this sentence here. So generality and instance, or general and specificity, or general and particular. So the example would be the general would be a phenomena or thing. The particulars of the phenomena would be part, pillar, individual kind of object. So general and the particular, or general and the specifics. So what we can see, when we look at the relationship between generality and the specificity or particularity is that generality is much has a broader is much broader and then the specifics like part, pillar, they are kind of less extensive, and one and different. One, in the text it says that one refers to something which doesn't have separate parts or entities, and different is something, the phenomena which has separateness, or which has separate parts. In Tibetan it's just one word. Soso means separate, so that's the only word that is used. But again here we mentioned this before, kind of single or one could be permanent, but if something is single, it doesn't mean that that single is permanent. So from last class, if you remember this. So this is the part where the complicated part. So Geshe-la says, using the logical kind of language that is in Buddhist scriptures, which when you translate in English, it becomes just ordinary way of language. So I think there's a big kind of the language difference. But there's a very kind of unique the language system in especially the Buddhist logic debating learning. So in English it doesn't have the same. So but so he's saying that there are three reasons that we use when we kind of talk and discuss between generality and the particularity. So we say that the object or phenomena or thing is generality because the reason used is because it has a particularities or particulars. We said before. So this is kind of thing is thing or object or phenomena is generality because it has a particulars. So this is how the reason is used here.
That is the Pumbichera yote, Pumbadi imbe that Pumbadi Mobichera imbe is a kukuba.
So right after that, you need to give an example. There is instances or there is specific there is a particulars for the generality. For example, a part is particular or specific or of the general generality, which is a thing or object or phenomena.
Ta pumpa mobichara inde kyo mobichara sung ta sung tuwe chese ta ya gyuzin ko buda te ya budwa gyuzin thos ko wa
pumpa mobichara inde an kalo
mobichara sung ta sung tuwe chese ta ji ko ta sung de ji ko ko yin ko ra.
So now the next step is the part itself. We are using the part as an example of particularities of the generality, which is object or phenomena here. So the next step is it says that part is the particulars of the generality because of the following three reasons. So three reasons are cited here to prove that the part is the particular of the general object or phenomena or thing.
Dai tangputa tangpode pumpa ngopu in labores pumpa khra ngopu le diores pumpa ngopu in pumpa ngopu da da chi den ngopu in ba ma zwe ko chap chi jun ji ni eni ngopu menna pumpa me gure jesa be dewa tu bu was ngopu da pumpa ni la chap chi jun de dewa tu bu was bet ga ji khang ngopu kha so na 대가는 분밤에 차도록 와. 캡제면은 캡제 깨도록 와. 다 됐어 마인 봐. 그건 내가 두 봐서 마인 봐. 뭐 분밤만이지 뭐보야 임베지 이든도 양 잠바지 분밤만인 게 뭐보인 게 나도 와서. 이든 뜻은 거. 야 뭐야.
부모가 왜니바 분보다 중고보다 분보 니바 가래.
부모보다 다주는데 분파 많이지 몸포 양 인비시던 것도 맞도 베이지.
부모보다 다주도 되란 걸로.
다주는 rel세디가라 단데 다 모집인데 와리. 모집인데 와데 캡치중무데 와 차야 거래. 캡충무데 캡체다. 당이 집어고네 다데 아니 뭐보가 하나 분방 가고.
So the three, cited reason. The first reason is, it says that the part itself is an object or phenomena. So the part itself is an object or phenomena or thing. The second reason is there is a relationship of same nature between part and the object. So if part or vase cease to exist, the phenomena or the object, also cease to exist. So they, you can see here the relationship between part and the object. As said before, the object is, broader, more extensive as compared to the, vase, which is one individual object. And then third reason, it says that there is a phenomena, which is object, which is thing, but it is not a vase or part. So there are bases like that. So these are the three, cited, kind of a reason that is used to prove that vase or part is the particular of the, generality, which is, thing or object.
You're talking about this object as like a label or a term or a thing for the purposes of the base?
Mobile the color tobe tazan shagyo den jil color
ngopo tazan marwa ngopo indigal phage ngopo sinde ganis ranzing gora ranzina ribichesu to tugu da datan tobe tobala malte bar rang dulugune ribichesu to tugu gora ribe phage chebache dugala ko nye yobachu nye te yobachu gora.
So here, when we talk about object or thing or phenomena, we are not talking about the labeling. Under the analysis, it should be findable. So when we talk about object or thing, according to this Sutra school, if you try to put it under the subject of analysis, whatever you call object or thing or phenomena, it should be findable. So it is simply it is not designation or.
dunjini bango be singi jadu gala randi kebe tonche gunju kuda randi chima kebe tonche gunju dunjini basi kuda nildenji kuda tela.
So generally, when we say object or thing, the meaning behind thing or object is that which is able to perform a function. So that which is able to perform function here kind of refers to that which is the ability to be a result or consequences. Yeah.
Just kind of going back, uncompounded space.
Too much in
definition, a little more. For some reason that confuses me. I wonder if it's a translation thing. Uncompounded, that to me that would be the opposite of what it is implied there. I don't know why.
Too much in number.
Well, the magic number thing is Tori cats, Topa the Reba, Katsamji, Chavioris, Menga.
So here, uncompounded phenomena refers to merely the absence of obstacle or barriers. So there's no barrier or obstacles, and that's what they refer here when they say uncompounded phenomena.
Which is space.
Uncompounded space, yeah. So simply the absence of.
So phenomena of space is kind of interchanging those.
뭐보다 뭐보다 남카 등이 파주 지지질 배주다는 데를.
대단히 말아. 뭐보세는 란센 잡아래. 남카스피 지진 잡아래. 뭐보세가 돈담을 파기 가서 왔다. 코 Data tope tabala maltebar, rang dulu ne tuya iwa chaterwa, ripiches to tuya iwenji. Namka sudwa, Dato ke pas, Jabar Mato, Dato Jashar Mato, Kurang winnie Garsore, Dunche Tayake Marwa, Radan Topagi, Topa the Riba Katsamji, Panel Tichawache Mainza, Toriki Chawache Mainza, Tell a Namkas mean Tacharo.
Namka Chawachugo Marisia.
Namka Chawachik Marwa. Tacheta Maulula, Namka, and Impe Tabangu the Midabangu Jadugala, Namki Chawachik, Chawache the Karizra, they could thought that Toya the Rame the Namki Chawache is a Lamora. Did the Lamora that didn't think of it.
So here, the phenomena and the space or sky is two different things, and the phenomena, or thing or object, again, as said before, it is findable under the analysis, and it has its own mode of existence from its own side. But you can look at the etymology in the text; it will kind of explain clearly. But here, the space, unlike the interpretation of the lower school, the space here, according to this school, they says that the space is simply, imputed label. There is nothing kind of, existing from its own side. When there is, absence of obstacle and barrier, the name space is designated or imputed. So there is no kind of, the space does the function. But when you look at the, interpretation of the space by the lower school, they says that of course space does a function, and its function is, the making barrier and obstacles not exist. So when they, so that is the function of space, not making obstacles or things exist. So you can see here that.
Well, opposite.
Docho tata marita kanchi docho cherasulisi re chore. Tan docho uning docho de ngopi docho la ngome jagore. Mitabi docho la takpa jagore. Ani namkha ina Dumaji Namka Ingu Marwa. Rengawi Kambe Nampa, Pumbe Namka, Namkare, Kuya, Dumaji Namkare, Rengawi Namkare.
No, it's not, we can say that it's not totally opposite. The totally opposite would be thing, object or not object, permanent, impermanent. And here you can say that it is kind of, particulars of the contradiction or opposite, but not opposite entirely. And also when we look at the space, uncompounded space is one thing, but there are other space we mentioned before, temporary space, the space within the vase, space within the house, these are temporary kind of space. We'll take a 15-minute break.